Monday edition of the program. Merely Bo and the Great Z. How you living, buddy? When's this going down?
I don't know.
Not on.
See?
I thought you were on.
How do we know?
I don't know.
There's no lights. There's no way to know. And especially because
and the other thing about it is because as
we're potted
Nick
down,
is
I
saying,
think. Yeah.
when Nick is saying, "Are you guys good?"
Yeah.
If you don't hear that, or you're not potted up when that ask is asked,
You have no idea.
You're without clue.
You're flying blind.
Flying blind, brother.
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm here to announce that I'm going to give it 110% today.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, 110%.
Well, it's
your
101,
one
and you've
day?
already failed in that part.
Are you?
I haven't failed.
Yeah.
You failed. Every time that I have an issue with this mic, it's your failure for designing this studio as though you had never worked in the radio business before.
Do you ever just give what were you thinking when you designed this?
Seriously. Just come out and say it.
Fat,
Tell the
drunk, and
people.
stupid. It's all right.
It's no way to go through life.
No way to go through life.
Actually thriving.
Are you, though?
I'm doing just fine.
Did you, when you were
Nothing
making
pleases
this
me
studio, did you just think, let's just make it more difficult as possible when you had that? When you,
I mean, for Zagura, it's not difficult to make it difficult.
No,
Well,
actually, you got too. When he was
you
out.
get got all the time.
he does get got.
He gets got from right there.
No,
when
but
he's
he
sitting
was.
1 inch from
you
the
were
board.
out like 2 weeks ago or something, and that same thing happened.
Because it's hard to know. And especially if we don't know that, and thank you very much. You guys pot us down during breaks, but sometimes the pot back up doesn't happen when we're testing, and so then we have no idea.
Well, since when do you actually ever test?
Every time. Didn't you hear
Peek
me go,
behind the
"Oh."
curtains. Kevin Stefanski
Did you hear
show,
that?
Thursday nights.
Did you hear that?
Your version of testing is as the music is playing. Test 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Well, I hope so, because in 30 seconds we're on the air.
We're on. It's time to go.
Never had a problem.
Never been a problem.
No, there's been problems.
There's been one. There was one
Yeah.
where there was one. I do remember that. I can't remember if that was Stefanski's show or this. It was in the height of COVID. And
When my internet went out.
was it that?
And Gibby was like, "What are you doing?" Well, it went out when it went out. It's not like there's like, "Hey, everybody, in
I can't
45
remember
minutes
if it
from now,
was-
your internet's gonna go out." Like it just goes out.
I don't remember if I feel like it was Coach's show.
No, it was
because
it was recently. It wasn't a
Bishop,
coach show.
at
was
what
Coach's
point
show. I remember
is
a Coach's
Zagura on
show.
his phone checked out, talking trash
Today?
about his golf outing?
You're out tomorrow, right?
I just said
He's giving you all of it.
Are you listening? I
gonna
said
get all
I'm
of
giving you 110%.
No, you're not.
I got the rest
I
of the
would
week
say
to
by
party
2:10,
and gallivant
when's the
around.
flight?
He's looking at the phone.
9 o'clock.
9 a.m. Nice.
Yeah. Are you kidding? I'm even staying.
How many days? What are we there? How long are we there?
Till I'm on the flight back Friday, so I get to golf Friday, but flight back Friday, so I'll land around midnight Friday
So a Tuesday
to Friday.
to Friday.
Yeah,
Straight
four
through.
rounds.
Are you
That's
playing
incredible.
tomorrow?
Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Where do we have we've
Oh,
worked things through? Things are
yeah.
good. Things are good with the humans. It's
Everything
good.
is good.
Very good.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, it's exciting.
And I'm going to give you everything I got.
I know
Why
you will.
not?
I know
got
you will. I
plenty of
believe you.
time to recuperate. I'm even multitasking. I'm pitching. I got ideas.
That
Gibbe.
makes me nervous. I'd rather you single task.
No, I'm single tasking now. I was saying in
Like,
addition today.
if there tries to be like a multitask to
No.
what people back there want, and then
No, that's at
then
3
I
o'clock.
lose you a little
That's
bit.
at 3 o'clock. You
All
got
right,
me.
So at 3 o'clock.
You got nothing.
I'm writing this.
Yeah, I
all
mean, I'm
down.
staying for a meeting after to pitch my ideas. That'll
It's
get
a
shot
first.
down, most likely. So much hate. You know what? Last time we were on the air, I'm out there praising you. I'm saying all these nice things about you.
Yeah.
We have a weekend. We come in. We have a warm embrace.
New
We're
week.
Great friends. And then as soon as we get on air,
Right to you.
yeah, sicking it to me.
It was a great weekend.
Wonderful
Great
weekend.
otherwise.
A real treat.
Did you guys see either Kelsey on SNL or Chris
yes.
Rock live?
No.
Me either.
Kelsey was great.
I didn't see it live.
What?
By the next day, it was all up, and I'd seen
Oh,
all
man.
of this.
That's great.
Like someone asked, like, is he athlete funny or legitimately funny? He's definitely athlete funny. I thought he was the best athlete on SNL since Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning was like, that's probably the best.
He's pretty one note, though. Like, he played basically the same character in every skit.
But
he
like,
just-
there's some of
he's
those guys
very well.
who can't at all. Like,
Sure.
there's other guys who've been on that.
The Rock was
athlete-wise.
great, but now he's
not.
but he was an athlete back then.
But he was also, I don't know, he's an actor too. Like
It's
even
sports entertainment.
right. Yeah. I mean, he's used to the swings of the emotions of it. Whereas if you're just an athlete and you're trying to do that, it's a tough gig, man.
No, he was
I
good.
thought he did good. The American Girl one was so awkwardly hilarious. I love that.
I
one.
loved it too.
The
Sweet Miss K was like, "Is this funny?"
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
"It is funny.
It is.
It's creepy."
creepy for
but
sure.
funny. I
Yeah.
like when he brought her over for the date.
It was so great.
That's awesome.
So good. Yeah. I didn't realize the Kenan Thompson dude's still on it. He's got to be the longest running cast member
And he looks
ever.
the same as when he started.
He does.
It's insane.
He has
No,
to.
he is definitely. There's
He's
no
gotta
question.
be like 20-some years
yeah,
he's been on that
maybe
show.
80.
I'm not sure it's
Yeah.
been around that long, but it's been a
He
it's
is.
been a minute.
Kelsey was great. I did find, and you are a very, what I would call, sharp dressed man.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
What's the word that I'm?
Sartorial splendor.
Sartorial splendor. That's what I was
Yeah.
looking for. Yeah,
Sure.
I was gonna say sardonic, which you also can be, but I knew that was not the right word. Nerd. He can be. Pooh boy. Did you see it? What do you think of his suit? His monologue suit.
You know what? I don't know if I saw the monologue.
Okay,
Let
so
me pull it up.
it's a suit
Okay.
that almost has kind of like a double lapel, it looks like, or almost like a double coat. And then from that hangs down two flaps that like cover, the nether regions,
All right, I'm pulling it up right now.
which I thought it's the strangest coat I've ever seen.
Okay, so it's a double-breasted.
Okay, but then look at
Would
those little things
would we call that taupe?
it was a pink. It was
Maybe
a
maybe a
pinkish.
mauve.
Uh-huh. But what's hanging down
Okay, let me just get a good look at this.
out of the coat?
Oh, it's like extra sleeves.
But
Because
out
it's
of
got
the middle.
buttons on it.
But it's in the middle.
You're right. It's like they sewed two sleeves, like the end of sleeves, because you see the buttons on it. Look at that.
Yeah, why?
That's bad advice. That's bad advice somebody gave him.
What
Like,
is that?
it looks like a breechcloth, to be quite honest.
looks
From your
ridiculous.
Chippewa days, it looks like
Yeah.
a breechcloth,
It does.
but it's really just two
A loincloth
sleeves.
for the layman.
Yeah, two sleeves with
Coming
buttons.
out of the middle of his jacket.
It's an odd
over
choice.
his nether regions.
Yeah,
I was like, what? I was
I don't know. That's strange.
fixated on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing it was done on purpose.
Clearly, it wasn't an accident.
Yeah, because like the double-breasted jackets are usually a little longer, and that one seems short.
No,
That looks awful.
it's not like he put it on and was like, oh man, there's this fabric. I'm just curious, like what the thought process
Who's
was.
making that thing?
What was the thought process? That's all.
Oh, it's a big deal too. It says Travis Kelce's pink suit sees SNL fans debate if it's fashion forward or a fumble. I love him, but probably fumble.
Just
Just a weird choice.
just odd.
I've never seen anything like that.
Well, speaking of, we're headed into a weird period of fashion. Do you see the new jeans that are coming out?
I did not.
So, and maybe this is just for the ones they give to models, but imagine your jeans,
Okay.
and then imagine that panel where the zipper is.
Okay.
Okay, that's there.
Okay.
Your waistband is there,
Okay.
but then everything else before your legs is not there.
So, zipper, waistband.
Yeah, but then not where the
But-
pockets
but
are
pockets
gone.
clean.
The whole middle there gone. Butt cheeks gone.
Oh no, really? That's not going to go well.
No.
No.
It's outrageous.
Who's pushing that?
Some high fashion. It was a
Oh,
fashion.
stop
week.
it! Stop
All
it!
the pants they made, there were sweats that were like that. So it almost looks like you're wearing like a jock strap
Yeah,
with legs.
probably the worst
That is-
invention ever was the jock strap. The fact that they decided to do what they did on the back side of that without just making a normal. Why don't you just make it normal? Why would you have to do that? You remember the first time, like in 6th grade, they're like, my dad's like, "Oh yeah, you got to have this. You got to wear this." Come again?
For what? Yeah,
Are you
designed
sure?
this?
Like,
Yeah.
why would we do it this way? This doesn't make any sense in the world. But that's
The
what you
worst
did.
was wearing a cup as a kid when you had to wear a cup.
Oh, those are brutal. They were brutal.
And then you had to get the banana cup so that you could protect the straight up bounce.
Yeah, brutal.
Awful.
Absolutely brutal. I had the boys have to wear those for lacrosse. It's
Yeah.
awful.
Baseball.
Yeah, bad deal. I don't like
Awful.
it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Rotten.
Um,
So I think anyway, that suit, it was an eye catcher.
It was.
because it was so strange. But he was great. I give him an A++.
He did a great job.
His brother was great.
Yeah.
Fresh off of Elmo's with us or Harry
yeah,
Hizzy's
I was
with
thinking,
us.
what
yeah.
a time for them.
Yeah.
You know, play each other in the Super Bowl, share a room at Elmo's or at Harry and Izzy's with Yumi and Gibbe, and then Saturday Night Live on a Saturday. Jason Kelce go, man, I checked every box.
You know what's curious is that we were there on a Tuesday. So
Yeah.
it is possible that he went from that meal, did Jason, directly to New York and shot that on Wednesday a la Gibbe. Now,
I think that's in play.
there were things that were in the news that happened after Wednesday.
Post.
Right.
Yeah. That's true. I had one of those this morning, actually, where vehemently arguing that Paul Hogan and Hulk Hogan were actual brothers.
What? Who was trying to make that claim?
Listen, one's from Australia, one's from Tampa, and the fact,
Right.
and let's start there, and then also like maybe not real name Hogan,
Terry Bollea is his real name.
right?
Right.
So, though that happens though, like you hear something over and over enough that you almost believe it to be true. So that was that. That's it. So that's Wednesday Night Taped. I heard it so many times.
I'm confused by the whole Hogan thing, though.
No, I mean it was
that part
very
kind of
much-
stupefies me because if you
very
see
much
the
argument.
one and
Wednesday
you
Night
listen
Tape,
to
you
the
can
one,
see that. It's called Saturday Night Live. It's taped in front of, it's live. But now the
I
Hogan
think there's a
one is
skit or
the
two that
Hogan
didn't
one.
make it to
Ho-
Saturday night after the
after Wednesday Night
after
Tape.
the
Right, when
test run.
that's where they first run it through on a Wednesday.
I believe there's a skit or two that didn't make it. Sad.
Sad.
Did you watch Chris Rock?
I did not.
But you saw.
But I know that it was live. I haven't
And you
seen I've seen nothing from
You
it.
didn't see the end.
No.
So it's been almost a year since the slap, the Will Smith slap, right? So he hadn't said anything about it. You get through it's however long the
So
comedy.
you did
special
watch
is.
this or you just watched this
No, I
moment?
just watched this
Got it,
moment.
got it.
So apparently he doesn't say anything about it until the end,
Okay.
and then napalm.
Well, he should. I
Yeah.
think it's justified.
It's quite aggressive, quite aggressive
Good.
to sit and wait on something a year, almost a year exactly.
Think of how well you could perfect the material.
Yeah, I don't know that he landed it. I mean, it wasn't as clean as I thought because it was live as opposed to tape. So there's a couple of little bumps here and there that normally would get evened out, but it was pretty solid takedown. Pretty solid takedown. Derek Carr did what we would do.
Yeah. We've been saying it.
Yeah.
Go to the NFC South and be a king.
That's it.
Big fish in a little pond.
There was no. This was the if you just from the big picture NFL perspective, he took a team that wasn't a playoff team, and by him going there, now will be the favorite to win the division.
Favorite.
They will be
good defense, best defense of his career that he will ever have played with by a wide margin.
Absolutely. They are now in an NFC that it feels like they could be like a NFC semifinalist, maybe finalist.
I feel like they're
So
right.
it's Philly,
Yep.
and then it's like, who else do you
Dallas,
believe in?
Niners.
Well, Niners for sure. Dallas, Vikings, like
Green Bay.
yeah.
Detroit. Oh, man.
Meantime, he goes to the AFC West. AFC. If he had gone to the AFC East and gone to the Jets, nothing changes.
Nothing.
The balance of power is the balance of power. The Jets are better off, but there's no path.
Now he is, I think, a lock to play in the playoffs.
Here are his financial numbers just in from Rap Sheet.
Oh, hold on. Can I guess it?
You may.
I have not seen it.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to get into the I don't think he's going to get 40s like Daniel Jones wanted. I'm going to say average per year $38 million.
Less. 60 over the first 2 years, $10 million guaranteed thereafter.
Yeah, it's a 4-year deal, $150 million, $100 million in total guarantees.
Yeah.
I
So
said
basically-
30. Hold on a second.
You said 38. It was 30 a year.
You should have said
Well, in
4
terms of
years, 150.
guaranteed.
It's 37.5. I was off by $500,000.
Are you
I was
talking
looking
guarantees?
at. I was looking at the
I'm
guarantees.
talking about the contract.
Oh,
4
yeah,
years,
yeah.
$150 million.
Yeah.
I
First-
said 38. It
I'm
was
public
37.5.
school. I
So
couldn't
the
do
first,
that math in
what
my
they
head, I'm
did
not
though
gonna
is
lie.
so what they did is the first 2 years it's $60 million over the first two, $10 million guaranteed thereafter. So you get $60 million in the first 2 years guaranteed. That's where I got the 30 number. But yes, your average per year would be right on it. Nailed it. Good job out of you. Well, you know your buddies with the agent to the stars. You ought to know these things.
Haters gonna hate.
So he gets it done. So basically, the Saints, Breer points this out. The Saints pay $2 million a premium to keep their draft pick. So you get a starting quarterback, franchise quarterback, and you do so without giving up an asset, which is very rare. These things don't happen very often.
And you just went to an organization that just got compensated for Sean Payton.
Yeah,
Like, you're in a good spot.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, they can go in a hurry. There was the Jets thing was always going to be a more difficult path.
Silly.
It's not there. Yeah.
nonsensical. This is a stroke of genius.
It is.
It's the best place he could have gone.
God, there's one of the
Dennis Allen knows him from the
familiarity,
Raiders.
for sure.
Our guy Joe Woods is there. Olave's there. Alvin Kamara's there. Cam Jordan, the Honey Bat. I mean,
we're not sure about Alvin Kamara.
What?
Yeah, Kamara maybe not.
I think Kamara's TBD on things right now.
It's a nice squad though, and they've also they've hung. Like they've never bought. The Saints have been in the mix. They had Breeze all those years, and now they stay there, stay competitive, and to me look like the favorite in the South. Who's it? Trask, Ritter, and Matt Corral in Carolina right now. Like, who are the other quarterbacks?
You know
if
what?
you go to page 3 of your rundown.
You know
we're
what's
gonna
funny
do that.
about this? If I had done that, you would have yelled at me, "Don't you read the rundown?" Blah blah blah. And for him, it's like so nice and polite. Hey, Bo, go to page 3 in the rundown. The double standard.
That's right. It's
I've
appropriate.
had it.
It's
I
appropriate.
mean, it sounds like your guilty conscience is talking to you.
No, it's not.
So
it's your hypocrisy.
Oh, there you go. So, boy, that's it. Matt Corral and Jacob Eason. So they'll do something in the draft.
Can I read you guys a quote from the official Nana of the show?
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
And I quote, "Oh, Gibby, shush."
Thanks, Nana.
Shush.
I'm living my best
good.
life, buddy.
That's good.
That's good.
The official Nana.
Oh,
That's
Gibby,
great.
shush.
Is she on Asa duty this week? Will there be some
Just
Asa
during
duty?
the day, yeah, she'll go say what's
Little
up.
Asa. Little Asa duty.
'Cause this is just me. I mean,
Yeah, that's. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Sweet Miss Kate's still around.
Buddy Garrity, I can report with the good days and now fully trained on the electric fence and a little bit of acreage to run around on. Just a totally different love in his life. I mean, his
thriving.
life right now is just thriving. Just
could he
sprints
not?
around, tries to eat every leaf that flies by in the wind. He's living his best life.
Yeah.
Yeah. To the point now where he's figured out how to bark, and so like when it's time to come in, he's not real happy about it. He's like, "No, I'd rather go back out there," which goes to my theory that they would rather be out there.
Not in the winter, he wouldn't rather be out there, but in the
I
summer,
don't know. We'll
maybe.
see. Like he does have a coat for it. He's
does
built
have a
for
coat.
it. You know.
All right,
So
give
is that-
me what I would like right now is
The
the
nation.
house power rankings through the eyes of Buddy Garrity.
chronologically by age.
Really?
Yeah. Like how he sees it.
Yeah. So you're the alpha.
Yeah. The blonde.
Yeah.
Definitely NBC.
He's a clear.
No question.
Is he challenging? Is he near the blonde's level?
No.
No.
Oh no.
No.
1, 2. NBC would slide in. I think Beamsy's making a play on NBC's territory because he's being a little bit more giving, and then and a little bit more
Bootsy's
willing.
dead last.
Bootsy's way down. Bootsy's play now though is to like he will just flat out tackle him and like try to ride him and stuff. And I mean, Buddy Garrity's 4 months, 5 months.
But
He's probably about like that big.
Yeah.
He's grown a lot. And like he's not coming at Bootsy yet, but I feel like he could. And I told Bootsy, I said, if you do that and he does latch on to you, it will be justified. Just so we're all in the same page. If you continue to do that, he will.
Like this isn't
he
a
could.
Buddy Garrity goes away situation. This is
No.
hey,
It's
you
so-
got
sorry,
what you got.
Bootsy, it happens. Like you know, I said she got to be a little easier.
Is
on that.
Bootsy lashing out because he knows he's in last place?
No, I think what Bootsy wants is all he ever wanted was a real life stuffed animal
Got it.
that he could wrestle with, cuddle with. He doesn't want to deal with any of the negatives that come with having a dog. He just wants the positive stuff.
Or any of the responsibilities.
Or none of the none of them want any of the responsibilities. We're doing 92% of the stuff. Like,
Correct.
maybe
Who's
even
picking
more.
up some poop? You?
Yeah.
Get those kids out there. They got that.
Honestly, at their age, it's more of a pain for me to try to explain it. It would just end up everywhere.
Let me
You
tell you
gotta
something.
get the
They
claw,
wouldn't
the
be able to-
scoop
I
claw.
was under the yoke.
I've got woods. I just take the shovel.
Throw
Yeah.
it in the woods. Yeah.
I do the same thing.
I was under the yoke. Are you kidding me? I was out there.
What age?
Mom, who's listening,
just
can
curious.
tell me. As young as I can possibly.
You had dogs young,
When I was.
and so you had to do those things?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they have chores, but I think, like, to me, that feels
Dude.
like they would bobble that. Like, what
Okay.
would happen is the picking up the poop would end up everywhere because they wouldn't be able to properly work a shovel.
Would it be under Pedro's yoke? That was allowed. And if I, like, scraped it and it smeared a little, I had to go, like,
Underneath?
get a smaller hand shovel. And it was.
Disaster,
Dude,
yeah.
As far as I can remember.
Yeah.
And this is a long time. I was responsible for the dog's poop from the second that I have memories of my life.
Yep.
Vacuuming.
Okay.
Cleaning the cabinets.
Yeah. Is that a wipe down on the outside?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. With like a wood spray and then a wipe down, counters, the whole deal.
Dusting. Yeah, like we used to do that. After that. Yeah.
I was responsible for all of those very early on, like maybe at least for sure by 5th grade, if not sooner, which Nana can verify. I was doing my own laundry.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like a one-man.
You're
one-man.
Yeah.
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 My mom says 7. She thinks 7 for
7.
poop.
They had a dog. Yeah.
No, for me being responsible for the poop. We had a dog since I was born.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost. I feel like it would be, I feel it'd be a negative.
Then
Like,
I'd have to
think
get
they'd screw it up.
apricots, nectarines.
Yeah.
Off the trees.
Now, this same yoke? Are you applying to your children?
No.
Didn't you find dusting really satisfactory?
Dude,
I loved it.
Every
I
morning,
love dusting.
Every morning when I get
I
up.
love it. I like the smell of the stuff. I like the satisfaction of like this side's clean, this side's not.
There's two things in our household that I just don't do: dust and clean the bathroom, because inevitably I cannot clean it to the level that my wife expects.
So that's just
so
you
I'm like,
punt. Yeah.
All right, well,
I'm not going to waste my time. It's not going to be as good as you
I'll
want
do
it.
dishes.
It's not
I do
satisfactory.
laundry. I can vacuum. I like vacuuming.
I love to vacuum as well, but every morning, the first thing I do is I want the kitchen to be sparkling, and I get great thrill from like cleaning and polishing the granite. That's like
getting it locked in.
That's the first thing I do once I emerge, and I love it. It gives me. I was like, all right, I've done something productive.
Yeah,
done something for our home. Love it. I mean, it's probably because of my youth. I mean, I used to get a great joy of we had like wood paneled cabinets, like the house of the 70s.
Yeah.
So I get great joy. You spray it on there, and
yeah, it was fun.
And then you could see the sheen.
Look at how great that looks.
How great
Look what I've done.
Oh goodness, yeah.
A nice lacquer.
Yeah.
It was funny. Back to the Derek Carr. This is what I was going to bring up. So I was watching Get Up this morning. Is that the Mike Reed?
It is.
So he's all jacked up, right? And he's an icon, no doubt. He's basically, though, on that show turned into. Do you remember when Norm Macdonald played Larry King on SNL?
Of course.
Larry
and
King.
He would just point and make these declarations and change cameras. So Greenberg's basically doing that. This morning he went, 2 trains staring down a track. One the Jets, one Aaron Rodgers, and one is Derek Carr. Which train survives? And he points to whoever's there. Jeremy Fowler's been on the phone every break. His phone is lighting up. Jeremy, what can you tell us? And Jeremy goes, well, I'm hearing he's going to go to the Jets. Derek Carr's going to go to the Jets. They're the clear front runner. And like 2 hours later, he's the Saints. But it was like the hype around it.
And the best part is
Florio had
three
it this
trains
morning.
involved.
Florio was the first one to say, everything I'm hearing, he's going to the Jets.
Going Jets, yeah. So they all were on it, and then it goes Saints. But like the sales pitch of like as if Joe Montana was on the market, and this was going to change the balance of power. There was no difference in hyperbole than that. It would have been exactly the same. I'm sure like when he was doing the Brady teases, it was like that. Like Tom Brady switching teams. Where will he end up?
Jeremy Fowler, go.
That's what it was like.
I like that.
It was he really has become. God bless him. He's done it a long time at a very high level, but that's the way he does it. And he had it was great. He's, by the way, the nicest guy ever. We had him on this show. He's so nice.
So nice. Incredibly.
I remember we did like a really long interview. His wife wasn't there, and he just wanted to talk.
Yeah, and he's like, cool. Like, no, we can
go as long as you
like,
want.
It was during COVID.
Yeah, that's right. It was COVID.
It was the Jets game.
That's right. Yeah.
We did this great interview, and I think I could only end up using 8 minutes of it because the game had changed because our entire wide receiver room got sick.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But he sat down. He goes, my whole family's on vacation somewhere. I'm just hanging out in a condo in New York City.
Yeah.
Like,
we did like 20 minutes, and we could have kept going.
Yes.
At the end, he's like, let me ask you guys a question. So that's the news of the day in the NFL is the Carr news. He goes to the Saints. Diana Rossini saying before Carr grew support in the building, there were many who were pushing for Jimmy Garoppolo. So,
in New Orleans.
No, this is in
New York.
In New York. Well, yeah, there's 49er. I mean,
there's also no other way for that. They can't go back with Zach.
No.
That's done. So
I will give credit. Eisen was very, like, he tried to keep that drumbeat alive for Zach Wilson. Yeah. I don't think you can come back from what happened on that Thursday night game against the Jags.
I don't think so either. I think you're done. I think it's
Carson Wentz could never play in Washington again after what happened from that crowd in the game against us. Like,
Yeah, you reach a point where you lose you have no confidence because you know that the people in the building don't want you there, the fans don't want you there. You question everything. Yeah, I mean, I think it's done.
It goes back to what you and I were saying, and I'll say both of us instead of just stealing stories here because it was. But why was it that Zach Wilson was just an automatic number 2? Why was it a foregone conclusion?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we'll get into some of the combine stuff from over the weekend, but it is stupefying that was the case. We said it over and over again. Like, what are we missing?
It's hard, by the way.
Remember, there was somebody we had on, and they were like, "Well, the only reason he was down that year is because they didn't have his receivers weren't back, or there was all these excuses for it." And I was like, I don't know. You watch him play. At no point watching BYU play were you like, "Oh, that's
man,
look out." That's Peyton Manning. Never felt that way.
The combine, obviously, I would have it on in the background throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what they've turned it into and just the hype that surrounds it. Listen, everybody knows Anthony Richardson is an unbelievable athlete.
Nobody thought he wasn't.
Nobody thought he wasn't. But now we're acting like, oh, my God, like this guy's got to go in the top 5. The question is, can he play quarterback? The answer is, we're not sure.
Nobody knows.
Complete 50% of his passes.
Yeah.
Like, can he read a defense? The greatest athlete and quarterback ever was Cam Newton, right? And that he was a Heisman winner, won a national championship.
Yeah. Had probably the best single season in the history of college football.
And guess what?
Don't come in with the Burrow stuff. He wasn't throwing to Jefferson and Chase.
No.
I love Burrow, but it's not
of course,
the same.
But Burrow is what I would call a prototypical pocket passing quarterback.
Yeah.
Richardson is not that.
No.
Cam Newton was not that. Cam Newton was the best, I think, example we have of that because of his size. He was a unicorn.
He was.
He won an MVP, never won a Super Bowl.
No.
Like, you've got to be able to throw the ball. I don't care how great it's not like we're saying this guy's going to be a running back or a position where being just the best athlete on the field really can enhance your ability to play. Sure, you might be able to run around and like Justin Fields last year, couldn't really throw the ball, made some great plays with his legs, but it's like they were winning.
No.
I just don't understand how the infatuation, like, you knew he was going to be the most
I don't even know if
toolsy guy ever.
I don't think it's even that. I think sometimes it's just something to talk about until the draft.
For sure.
Right?
Well, Malik, think about Malik Willis. Go back a year on Malik Willis. Coming out of the combine, who's trading up to the top 10 to get him? You're going to get a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
3rd round.
Yep. Yeah. No, I think there's some of that. We will go around the NFL. There's a lot going on around the league today. A lot of guys being cut, guys on the block, including a former Offensive Player of the Year from not that long ago in the league. We will get to that, among other things. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet. Coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Around the NFL landscape, the Cowboys have now placed their franchise tag on running back Tony Pollard ahead of the 4 o'clock franchise tag deadline, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. So a franchise tag on Pollard. Are they in a point where they can buy out Elliott, or are they still going to try to do all of that?
My guess is they're moving on from him, as well they should, because he's not great.
The Titans are reportedly shopping running back Derrick Henry. That was paying off on the tease there. They're trying to shop him per Michael Silver.
Yeah, of course, because what are they going to do with him?
Yeah.
What's the point?
What's the market on that? Who's a fit for that?
Every team that has a very good running back on an expensive contract should be shopping them. This is a loaded running back draft.
Yeah.
And there is no reason to tie up assets in that position. It's a tough, harsh, I know people don't like that, harsh reality of the situation. It is.
Like Derrick Henry landing spots, who's a big power running back away from being a contender?
I maybe put him on the Bills. I'm sure that changes their outlook.
Yeah, but they throw it like he's just different than the backs that they have drafted or had. Like,
Sure.
they want guys who can catch it. Like
the Saints, if they
you're on.
Let's say
there you
if
go.
like
there you go.
Kamara doesn't work out.
Yeah,
the Saints.
That one would make some sense.
All right, so Zeke is right now.
I was going to say I'm looking at it. It looks like he's got a potential out now, but I don't know what that.
I think he's got 11.8 guaranteed still.
Yes. Yeah, he still has 4 years if they continue down the road. 4 years, $50 million, 11.8 is your dead cap.
Yeah, so no, they're not going to eat it. Now, if they cut him post June 1st, it's only a $5 million dead cap and an $11 million savings. So that's something that they could be interested in doing.
So there's a lot of this that's going on around the league. The Vikings releasing veteran linebacker Eric Kendricks. He was an All-Pro, wasn't he, a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or certainly a pro bowler.
Yeah. Felt like maybe he was an All-Pro. Allen Robinson, permission to seek a trade from the Rams.
I saw a stat.
Liked him a lot.
I saw a stat on Allen Robinson that he was actually, I don't even know what, some advanced analytics. He's not a burner. He's not really.
No,
what
I'm
we
saying you
need.
liked him coming out. He was always a fan.
And he was super productive. Had a great career. But last year,
one of those guys that he never really got to play very long with a great quarterback. He was with the Bears. He
never
with
played.
Jacksonville. Never did.
This year would be the
luck.
first year he did, and for some reason he just didn't. They didn't click. There was his open score, or again, some new thing I heard, was the highest on the Rams by a wide margin last year.
Oh, really?
And one of the highest of his career, but it just didn't work out. So he was a Pro Bowler and an All-Pro in 2019, first-team All-Pro. Good job, Eric Kendricks. He has got 100-plus tackles every year since 2016. He has 280 tackles the last 2 seasons, 6 sacks, 10 passes defense, 2 picks, a couple of fumble recoveries over the last 2 years. 16 tackles for last week. Good player.
Very, yeah. Tom Pelissero on Twitter this morning, USC offensive lineman Andrew Voorhees, top 100 prospect in the draft, feared to have suffered a torn ACL during drills at the Combine on Sunday. Somehow Voorhees did the bench press this morning, pumped out 38 reps at 225 with one leg on the ground. Is he the one who I saw running the 40 who pulled up lame, or was that somebody else? There's another big guy running the 40 that grabbed his hammy.
Not sure.
There
are a couple injuries coming out this morning. And now everybody's like, why should we have a combine if people are going to get hurt? Okay.
Well, I don't know. I never understood the idea of like a big guy running a 40. Like I saw DeJuan Jones, like that 6'8", 380-pounder from Ohio State, the right tackle, like he's running the 40 at 5'3", 8. And it's like, what? Who cares? When's he going to have to do that?
Why?
He's never going to have to do that. Like, there's no reason for them to run the 40.
No.
None.
By the way, 38 reps at 225 with one leg on the ground is absurd.
That's pretty good.
That's absurd.
That's pretty good. That's approaching, who was it?
We had Orson Charles here who did like one year.
Who's the?
I think it's 42, isn't it?
Somebody, it's like
in the 40s.
Yeah, in the 40s.
Yeah.
Bryce Young's measurements were done at the Combine, virtually identical to Kyler Murray's, 5'8" and 1/8 of an inch, weighed 204. It doesn't matter hands. Murray's 5'10", 1/8 of an inch.
His weight though is
weighed
fake.
In at 207. Well, the problem is exactly right. Bryce
Kyler
Young's
Murray's weight was real.
Yes, Kyler Murray is built like a running back. He's thick, big legs,
big neck,
all of that. Bryce Young is
not.
It's not real, man.
Who was telling us at the Combine? Were you there when somebody
played at 169?
169.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the way
how do you survive?
I don't know. And I'm going to tell you the way that Stroud threw it and the way that he carried himself over the weekend. I think he's got a shot. to go one. That's going to be eye of the beholder. But 6'3", 215, all the throws that he can make.
He's Greg Cosell's top quarterback.
With Stroud?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but it doesn't surprise me.
Wayne Morris from Oklahoma is the guy who pulled up lame, the offensive lineman.
Okay. So among the other things, we mentioned Greg Cosell. You had a chance to talk with him, and what a joy that was. He had C.J. Stroud as his number one quarterback. Greg Cosell was on the Ross Tucker podcast on the future of Carson Wentz. Here's what he had to say.
My sense is, and I had this conversation with a coach, that Carson Wentz's career might be over because he's not going to be signed as a starting quarterback. The feeling is that he does not really have the mindset to be a backup, that he's not, you always hear coaches, Ross, and you know this from playing, you always hear coaches talk about the room. With every position, we want our room to be good. There's the belief that Carson Wentz does not enhance a quarterback room for whatever reason. I don't get into the personal stuff and all that, but it's very possible that his career could be over.
I always thought that with Baker, that he would have a hard time being a backup, but he did quite well with the Rams as a backup, it seems.
But he wasn't the backup.
Well, I guess he wasn't. He came in and started right away. He was the backup in Carolina, and that seemed to go okay until
they cut him.
Eventually they did. Yeah, maybe he can't either. I don't know. I wonder what it is. Like Baker, we saw firsthand. Like I just wonder what it is with Wentz at all of these places that he just rubs everyone the wrong way.
Clearly an odd bird.
He must be, man. Like there's nothing there. We mentioned off the top.
Depot had that. I believe I had that as well.
Yep. Mentioned off the top, Travis Kelce was on SNL. He impersonated Patrick Mahomes. Here's what he had to say.
Seriously, I'm honored that SNL asked me to host. I was nervous about doing a monologue, but then I remembered I'm pretty good with words. I'm pretty good with words. Like during games, I do these super eloquent pump-up speeches for my teammates. Please watch. More. You go. More. And sometimes I even do it in my Pat Mahomes voice. Bob, more. Do it, Cal, do it.
I will say that the crowd, it's felt like kind of like a sitcom crowd where they're like ready to give him laughs on anything.
They're hyped for him.
Yeah. And you have to have that when you're in that. If you those first things, if you're in his spot and you're doing that live and a couple of laughs don't come early,
you get nervous all of a sudden.
Yeah, it starts to stack on you. In one of the most absurd things, this is ridiculous. The Titans are planning to wear their Oilers throwback uniforms for home game this season, according to the team's website. Okay. Why would anyone in Tennessee care?
Just because they're beautiful.
But they're Houston's uniform. It's not.
They should give them to Houston and let the Texans wear them.
Of course. It would be like if the Ravens were like, we're going to wear Browns uniforms. We're going to wear Browns uniforms one day. Well, why? The Browns never played here. Now, I understand that the Tennessee Oilers were the Tennessee Oilers
Briefly.
First year.
Yep.
And they played in Memphis, I think the Liberty Bowl, that they did wear those uniforms because I don't know what took them so long to go to Titans or how it stuck. Can you imagine that now? Like if an NFL team changed and the city that it left was significantly bigger than the city that it was going to, and the people where you left really wanted you to, like, how does that end up that way? I know we dealt with it here too, but this one gets much more attention than I think than the Houston one does. It's wild.
First of all,
and
it's
that they were going to
crazy.
be like the Tennessee Oilers?
Well, that part doesn't make sense, and neither do the L.A. Lakers, but that was going from a small place to a big.
In the old days, I don't even think that anybody
why would they
had
keep
any.
it? The Utah Jazz?
That's the worst one. I think in those days, like, honestly, Vancouver Grizzlies to Memphis Grizzlies is a recent one. Makes no sense. None.
Kudos for at least changing it. But they should have just been cool and said, when you make a team in Houston,
they're just keeping
they're
it
the
out of
Oilers.
spite.
Just like we got to say the Browns. The Ravens, in that sense.
So I think the NFL jumped in on ours,
Yeah,
and the same thing happened with the Sonics. So when the Sonics went to Oklahoma City,
Yeah.
they had to change names, colors, so all that stuff's in Seattle.
Thunder.
And become the Thunder. Yeah. Which, oddly enough, they have like a bison as the logo, which that makes, I guess they do make
Thundering
the sound
herd.
of thundering herd, but yet it felt like it was more of the meteorological thunder that they were going for.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, they should just give those to the Warriors. The Texans should just be the Oilers.
Yes.
But if not, then they should give them the colors and the throwbacks, and they should wear them in Houston. It would mean something to the people in Houston. They tried doing this in the NHL. The Carolina Hurricanes were the Hartford Whalers, and they were like, "We're doing a Whalers night." And I'm like, "Why?"
Hartford, the whale.
Nobody in Raleigh cares about the Hartford Whalers.
All you've done is anger Hartford.
Right.
It's like, are you going to rub it in now?
Like, you don't see the Avs like rolling out Quebec Nordique uniforms.
God, the Nordiques.
That would be pretty awesome.
They'd be great,
Why would
though.
Well, they're gorgeous. They are as by the way, light blue and red.
Of course.
It's a nice color scheme.
I wouldn't mind the Hartford, the whale, come back. And was it Mallrats when he's playing the game and he's like,
Mallrats.
Hartford, the whale.
Unbelievable.
Comes around once in a lifetime.
I don't know if anybody in Hartford cared about the whale when they were there, but they certainly did when they were gone.
Great
Correct.
name.
Oh, it's
Logo
awesome.
is-
Not a great color scheme, as I recall.
The old Seahawks color scheme.
Yeah.
Bright blue and bright green.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Nordiques is perfect. I mean, they're unbelievable.
They're
There's always talk that they're going to get one back, but I don't know. I don't know if they are. Don't know.
The Quebec Nordiques. Is that what they were?
Yeah, Quebec Nordiques. Yep. All right. Coming up next, AP put together a free agency preview for us, which players are eligible to hit the market. We will go through that with you coming up next. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Elk and Elk Serious Lawyers, Serious Injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case review. Elk and Elk's a proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Our good buddy, staff writer Anthony Poisel, with his 2023 Browns free agent preview, which players are eligible to hit the market. Looking at the Browns' unrestricted free agents. We've gone through a lot of these guys. Yeah, you're up. You're good. You had this on your wish list, some of these, like Ethan Posick was on your wish list.
Well, yeah, that's what I think. He's an important guy. You know, starting center for the team, played great last year. And I think he would be somebody that would be very important to being brought back. I think Deion Jones, you know, I thought played well. I don't know what the price tag would be there. You obviously need help at linebackers, but if we kind of were going through this and prioritizing, you know, people, Posick would get a star by his name. Clowney is not going to be back, I would think. I don't think Kareem will be back. I don't think Jacoby will be back because Jacoby's going to go somewhere and start. I'd love to have Anthony Walker Jr. back here. I actually just saw him recently working out and looks great, feels great. I know he wants to be back.
I think he'd be important if he could.
I really would like that to happen. I thought Taven Bryan, you know, was fine for the Browns last year. Second on the team with sacks with 3, which was a career high. We'll see there. I think we need a massive upgrade at that position. So I don't know that you run back there. Greedy had an awful year. I don't even know what the future holds for Greedy Williams. I mean, would I bring him back if it was like the league minimum? Yeah, I would. And maybe you can get what he had 2 years ago when he was playing pretty well, but last year was kind of a lost year.
Isn't that a funny one? Like, you remember the drafting of him, and you remember like what it came in here and kind of the hype around it. Stole a first rounder, and then it just could health.
That shoulder, you know, whatever that shoulder was, just kind of
couldn't
derailed
do it. Just derailed the career.
Yep, which is it's unfortunate, but he came back from it, and he was actually very good. Like I said, 2 years ago, and then it was just last year was just such an odd scenario in terms of what ultimately happened there with him. He was not great. Chase Winovich, I thought came in and started playing very well at the end of the season.
Yeah.
You know, could you bring him back on a minimum deal? Sure, I'd be open to that as a situational pass rusher. Talk, love Talk. It's just so hard. The ACL, week 13, such a brutal time.
Yeah. He was playing well too.
I would love Sione Takitaki to be back with the Browns, and I think he'd be a great special teams guy, all of that. Chris Hubbard, this is probably the end of the road for him. Gave the Browns some great years. Ronnie Harrison.
No. He was such a comet out of the gates.
2020 was great.
It's great.
It's kind of
crazy
baffling what's happened there.
Yeah.
Dearness Johnson, I wouldn't mind having him back. You know, you got Jerome Ford as the young one. Dearness gives you a nice insurance policy, and he's a great special teams player. So I'd star him if the price is right, you know. He's somebody that certainly would be in consideration. Stephen Weatherly, we never saw him. Jesse James, again, never really saw him. Pharaoh Brown, you know, I think I'd rather have like a younger type of a big inline tight end if we wanted to do that. Yelda Froholt, sure, I'd bring him back, especially as a guard. Not really. He was very good at guard, not as good at center.
Yep.
But very good at guard. Reggie Ragland, again, on a league minimum, give you a 250-pounder in the middle of your linebacking core, fine. Jermaine Carter, again, could be fine. Tay Davis, special teams guy. Your restricted free agents, Michael Dunn. I actually ran into Michael Dunn at the Combine out one night.
Oh, yeah.
I think he very much would love to come back. I think he also feels that if it doesn't work out here, he had a great time here. Got to start in that playoff game when Joel wasn't available. AJ Green, I think got to put a star by him. I think you'd like him to be back for sure. Been a solid performer for the Browns inside, outside. Exclusive rights guys. Thomas Graham showed a little something in the slot. And then Ben Still, Chris Odom, you know.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. In terms of those are depth pieces anyway, and you're looking for somebody to make a splash. Odom was, you know, great in the USFL. I think the key here is, you know, Posick and Awak are probably, you know, top of your list, although there's a lot of opportunities in the linebacking room. But those are probably the two that you really want to, and A.J. Green that you really want to bring back. I think Kareem Hunt's going to be elsewhere. I think, you know, Clowney will be elsewhere. Just kind of the reality of the situation. Jacoby will be elsewhere.
Yeah. And I think from a Posick and Awak, like if those are able to be guys who return, I mean, that's just two things you don't have to worry about. You're locked in. I feel like Awak there's no question that we were better off by a wide margin with him. JOK especially took a while for him to get his sea legs under him after Awak went out. And Posick was a revelation at center. He really was. He was great. So, when you have the needs that we have on the defensive line, at speed receiver, at safety, when you have those needs, like if you don't have to worry about a couple of these things, perfect.
It'd be nice.
Be nice to not have to do too much.
And nobody
too
that
much
we
shopping.
talked about there. Now, Posick could end up, outpricing himself, but nobody else here is going to outprice themselves on the open market, most likely. Awak coming off the injury, Tok coming off the injury. I doubt that you're going to be, in a big situation. The thing that stinks for Tok is, when's he going to be ready? Is he going to even be, you know what I mean? When is he ready to play for you? How does that impact when he signs? I mean, I want him to be Cleveland Brown forever. Love Tok.
Yeah. The timing of that was absolutely
awful.
Just brutal across the board. Coming up at the top of the hour, top 101 NFL free agents for 2023. Who could we be wooing to come in here? That is coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Part of one of the most passionate fan bases in the National Football League. Join the Brown season ticket member waitlist today for the best chance of securing tickets for all home games in future seasons. Don't miss out. Go to clevelandbrowns.com/tickets or call 440-891-5050 to reserve your spot today. Do you know what today is?
Friday.
Other than a Friday for you. Pretty good for you to come in on a Monday when you're off the rest of the week. Dude. It's kind of nice. Like one day, then I'm out.
Yeah, it's great for me, but
it's rare that happens. Usually, you just take the full week.
Dude, I love you.
Pops in. Well, I love you too. Same. And in spirit of that love, today is the 25th anniversary of the release of The Big Lebowski.
The dude abides. We might have to fire that up tonight.
It's one of the. I would say I was thinking about this morning. I remember watching it in the theater when it came out. There was a great deal of anticipation for The Big Lebowski when it came out. In certain sectors, and I was among those sectors. I think it's probably among the 5 movies I've seen the most in the 25 years since, at least in part.
I've seen it probably 1,000 times.
Yeah. If it's on, I'm in. If it's on, I'm in.
And it's a movie that gets better with every watch.
I don't have a problem with that.
Every watch.
Yeah, it's there's no dips. It's all every moment it's great.
I've been doing a bit lately. Who wins the movie?
I like it.
Who won?
Bridges.
I disagree. Walter
Sobchak.
I was going to say the Jesus.
Goodman.
Well, it depends on
Jesus
if
is
you
a
want to
force
do
of nature.
if you want to do the full rewatchables viewing of it.
I think Goodman is the most incredible character in that movie.
But it probably I guess the reason I said Bridges is Bridges comes out of it like he was a big star and then hadn't done stuff for a while. And then he does that, and now I feel like that's what he's most known for. Is Goodman most known for that, or is he most known like in terms of the vast cross section of America as like on Roseanne still?
Roseanne, most likely.
Right? Like for Bridges, he's the dude.
He's the dude.
And then he kind of became the dude. It was kind of the opposite of McConaughey. I think McConaughey has always been Wooderson. That is who he is.
Yeah.
I don't know that Jeff Bridges was ever the dude, but he's basically the dude now. Like if you hear him talk in the last 25 years, he sounds like the dude.
Yeah, he's doing
mellow.
He's doing music.
Oh yeah, he's got a very dude vibe, man.
Yeah, the dude abides. I mean, he's phenomenal, no doubt.
Sobchak has the best lines.
Yeah. See, I mean, he was already though he was nominated for an Academy
that's what I mean.
Award.
He was an A-list, and then he was kind of had faded. And then all of a sudden he's the dude.
So I'm trying to look at when the dude is. So the dude. What year is the dude? Here we go. The dude's 98. I mean, he was like
25 years ago, yeah.
So he was prior to that last nominated Academy Award for Best Actor for Starman in 1984. That was his 3rd Academy nomination. He does Lebowski in 98. Then 99, he has 3 movies. Arlington Road.
That's a
great
unbelievable movie.
It really is good. The Muse and Simpatico. Then he does The Contender in 2000, where he's Academy Awards Best Supporting Actor. And then he's basically doing a couple movies a year. He did Seabiscuit.
I think
Iron Man.
Yeah, my theory is that out of Lebowski, it's the renaissance of Bridges.
Won the Academy Award for Best Actor for Crazy Heart in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a decade after Lebowski.
Yeah.
2010 in True Grit, nominated for Academy Award Best Actor. 2016 Hell or High Water, Academy Award Best Supporting Actor.
He's unbelievable in that. That movie's great.
I've never seen that.
That's from the writer of Yellowstone. That's great. Hell or High Water is unbelievable. Bank heist movie, modern day Old West, West Texas. Awesome.
Oh, God.
Awesome. Chris Pine's in it.
Yeah.
Bridges. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies the last 25 years.
I'm going to have to watch that.
You'll love it. You'll
feel like I will.
No question. On the
It's
plane.
a great movie.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
By the way, Calvin Ridley officially reinstated.
To the surprise of no
Welcome to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
He's on our schedule. I mean, they're going to be good. They're a problem.
Sure they are.
Yeah, they're a problem. Trevor Lawrence turns out good.
Yeah. Julianne Moore, great.
Phenomenal. She's good. Brandt is great.
Brandt is amazing. Philip Seymour Hoffman is Brandt.
He's Brandt.
Come on, man.
He's so good. Maude. Yeah, Maude is great.
Maude Lebowski's great.
Small cameo, but Jackie Treehorn's unbelievable.
Oh, my God. My guy. Couldn't love him anymore.
Great doodler.
Oh, my God. Brad Wesley himself in the mix. Ben Gazzara. Unbelievable. Jackie
Treehorn's
The
great.
dude when he feels like he's on the same vibe with Treehorn, like he's really going to sort each other out.
Yeah.
So great.
Not.
Another Caucasian Jackie.
Another Caucasian Jake, yes.
Unbelievable line. Oh, it's good. Fantastic. And I would say, what I was going to say is I would
We've
say
got
it's probably
Donnie was
pretty
great.
good cast.
About
Coach.
Bunny.
Tara Reid.
Peak.
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 Yeah. That's
More
right
peak
around
than American Pie.
Did that lead to American Pie?
So this is 98. Hold on. Hold, please.
I would say American Pie is after.
So
Or is it?
it's
gotta be.
right now. So Lebowski is her big break, really. She was in something called A Return to Salem's Lot before that. Then Lebowski. Then from there, she gets next year is American Pie. She goes from Lebowski and hits Cruel Intentions in 99, American Pie in 99.
Cruel Intentions. I don't remember her in Cruel Intentions.
Marcy must have been a small part.
Got to be. Yeah, because that's Reese Witherspoon and
Josie and the
Sarah
Pussycats in
Michelle Gellar.
2001, American Pie 2, 2001, Van Wilder 2002.
Oh,
I mean, that's when she was.
fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
when she was really rolling.
And then Sharknado.
The Incubus. No.
Then it all went off a cliff at that point.
American Reunion. She got that, thank goodness, in 2012. She was in The Hunger Games. I don't remember her in The Hunger Games, 2014. She was in a movie called Andy the Talking Hedgehog in 2019.
Yeah, it's gone that way. It's gone.
She's
now.
still doing stuff.
She's out there working.
2021, Memoirs of a Fighter, Spare Me, Attraction to Paris, Mummy Dearest. 2022, Bloodthirst, Sally Floss, Digital Detective, and then 2023, Air Force Z. She's the president.
Well, she kind of lined into that Sharknado world when she was in that with Ian Ziering.
Yeah, she was in
kinda
2013
stayed there, stayed
Sharknado.
Yeah.
2014 Sharknado 2, the second one. 2015 Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No.
Yeah.
2016 Sharknado The Fourth Awakens. 2017 Sharknado 5 Global Swarming.
Yeah. They rode that all the way into the ground.
2018 the last Sharknado, It's About Time. So 6. She gets six
Sharknadoes
films
out of that. Yeah. Her and Ziering.
Ugh.
What a guy he was.
Ein.
You big 90210 guy as a kid?
Oh yeah.
Were there any was Pedro have any Rush? What was his name? What was his dad's name? What was the series character's name? Steve Sanders.
Steve Sanders.
Rush Sanders. Remember his dad Rush? With the golf match
I just found
against the Bonds. It was the Bonds. It
I'll
was
have to watch
Bobby
that
Bonds
again.
and Barry Bonds.
I
Rush needed to
found-
make the putt.
I found Ziering and Donna to just be awful.
Awful. Dreadful.
Just the worst.
The perm on Ziering was unbelievable.
Awful.
Yeah.
He was so unlikable in every way.
Yeah. And then
And
he
Donna
turned him
was
into
just
like a
awful.
goofball
And then
later. Yeah.
the girl that was 1,000 years old. I don't know why she had to. I didn't get it.
There was no reason for her to be there either.
No.
No.
Hey, we're going to have a 4-year-old actress play a high school kid. Don't worry about it.
Nobody asked questions about Luke Perry either, and he was like 13 years younger than her. He was like 27, wasn't he? When he was
And
playing a high school
looked-
kid. And looked it.
Like he was he looked like he was 40 and had lived a hard life.
Lived a life.
Yeah.
A high school kid. Dylan McKay.
Dylan McKay.
Fantastic.
It's an all-time high school character, though, probably.
Him and Brandon Walsh. The yin and yang for that was pretty strong.
That was a strong. But like, if you were to do a Mount Rushmore of high school characters, TV or movies,
Zach Morris. Dylan McKay.
I'd like to nominate
Alex P. Keaton.
I'd like to nominate Spicoli. Thank you very
Spicoli.
much.
Yeah.
but Spicoli was before me.
He was. Yeah,
Does that mean
he
he's still a
definitely
high school character?
was. Yeah.
But I mean, like
You
I'm
weren't watching
thinking-
like when you were in high school. You weren't. I watched Fast Times all the time. I was
Bill and
obsessed
Ted.
with that movie.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Spicoli's great though.
Bill S. Preston, Ted Theodore Logan. Very good job. Stifler would probably be on there.
Stiffmeister.
Stiffmeister was
Stiffmeister.
really good.
Turns out though that he was like in many ways the Stiffmeister was a fraud. That's
Yeah.
the only downside of the Stiffmeister. Like he was like the alpha, but was not.
Not.
No.
No.
His mom was in fact his best characteristic.
Yeah. But I don't know that anybody knew that until in real time, did they?
He had so they were making
Great cameo in Old School, too, for him.
Yep.
Road Trip.
Yeah.
Shot yourself with a.
Farrell.
Road Trip
Yeah.
was made.
That's a great movie.
That was a
Great
Underrated.
movie. Shot parts of it. The college part of it were shot at Emory
Okay.
when I was not. I think after I graduated, but I was still in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
There were some stories.
Some
about
hijinks.
the Stiffmeister.
I believe that. I believe he would flourish in Atlanta. Feels like a town you'd flourish in. Top 101 NFL
Poorly
free agents.
reviewed.
Free agents of 2023. Lamar Jackson at the top of this list. There was all sorts of stuff over the weekend with him. Was there anything to it? I don't know what to believe and what not to believe. There were reports that he met with Eric DeCosta, but they're still a long ways away.
Sent something that says he's going to the Commanders, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta was leaked.
So if that happens, we can replay this back.
Wait, are you talking about Lamar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what that's from, right?
Some Schefter thing?
Schefter was on Pardon My Take.
Okay.
And he had something like pre-programmed in his phone, someone to reach out, and it said Lamar or the Ravens working out a deal to trade Lamar to the Commanders. It was all set up on the phone. It was all whoever was going to be texting him. During the podcast, he gets his text, and they're like, oh, my God, what's going on? What's going on? He goes, I'll show it to you. Like, Schefter played it out great. He was like, no matter what, like, everybody's phone's off. No one has this. Great. All right, I'm going to show it to you, and, like, we can take it out of the video if it doesn't happen. And he shows them, and they're all like, oh, like, got. Schefter, just go back and watch it. It's spectacular.
So I guess that's not happening. PFT Commenter's on a personal strike, though. He's really until Lamar becomes a Commander, so it sounds like it's going to be a rough time for him.
I'm looking through this list, 101. Like, you got it's so interesting for us because in years past under AB and even under Dorse, like, we always had a bunch of money. We had a bunch of guys on rookie contracts. So, like, you could go to the top of a free agent list and said, well, we want these three guys.
Yep.
And sometimes we got those guys. This year, that's not the case. I mean, I was looking down, like, I don't even know, like, Draymond Jones, the former Buckeye, he's on the market. He's like 13 on this list. I know there's a lot of stock around Jesse Bates, but I like him, but I don't know that he fits what
we have to decide where the money is going to be, and my guess is it's going to be on the line rather than the back end. But if maybe you can't spend it on the line, you will do that on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, you're going through the rest of these guys on this list, and you got to go a while to find people that are going to be affordable based on everybody we're paying.
I've just learned something that has blown my mind that we'll discuss in the break about a person who plays a very minor role in the great film The Big Lebowski.
Intrigued.
So Peter King today in his column said, he goes, I'm at the Combine for 5-6 days. No buzz about free agency. No buzz from anyone about free agency. He
Mum's
said,
the word.
He believes a lot of teams will sit and let the market sort itself out before being active. Like, this may not. It may be a
guys,
week or
Geno
two.
Smith, like.
Yeah, I mean, 32-year-old Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Congrats on a career year, but
I mean, like Deron Payne's not. He's already been tagged.
Yep, and it gives the updates if they've been
man.
tagged. Like,
the Eagles got to re-sign basically their whole thing. Oh, that's good.
That's important. Not as Macaulay's van.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so we've been through this. We know where the emphasis will be. It'll be on the defensive line, and then it'll just be, when does it come? Will there be fast and furious?
I went through here and highlighted a bunch of different people.
Go through it
if you want to do it.
Go for it. Go for it.
All right. Obviously,
let me know when you're done.
we got time. You're safe.
Elite Hargrave would be, I think, the number one guy. They say $20 million. I just don't know if we can do that. You had Jesse Bates, who's number 9. That's a safety you mentioned. One guy who's not on the list that I like is the safety Marcus Epps from the Philadelphia Eagles, which doesn't make their top 100, which surprised me. Good player. Jim Schwartz, a fan of his, kind of, I believe it was called, he raised him in that Philly defense. Draymond Jones, no stranger to people here. The former Buckeye defensive tackle. Marcus Davenport on the edge. Former first rounder. Doesn't stay healthy, but productive when he is healthy. I think somebody the Browns maybe could keep an eye on. But my guess is we're going to get into some of the later guys. Apuna Ford, for example. Brandon Graham, we've heard that rumor while we were there. The Brandon Graham is being linked to the Browns and Jim Schwartz. Arden Key, I wanted last year. He replaced Trayvon Walker as a starter in Jacksonville. And as this notes, their pass rush got better. I've heard T.J. Edwards linked to the Browns. Improved every season as a pro, especially on passing downs. Plus starter, racked up more than 1,100 snaps on the way to the Super Bowl. He's the starting Mike for the Eagles, so that could affect our linebacker room there. Samson Ebukam, which would be a great pressure guy for a part-time player. He's thrived opposite Bosa, would thrive opposite, I would guess, Myles Garrett. Posick, we mentioned. Fletcher Cox would be a cheaper kind of guy to bide some time on the interior if you draft one that you're expecting to play at a high level. Sheldon Rankins is a name that I have given you a few times here. Seems to make sense, former first-round pick. Taylor Rapp could be a cheaper safety option. I mentioned Epps. Juan Thornhill would be a cheaper safety option as well. He's at number 96. And then our old guy, Larry Ogunjobi. Now, what's funny is this is supposed to the top 101 here. If you cut it off at 100, number 100 and 101 are both former Browns. Larry Ogunjobi and then Baker Mayfield's 101.
There you go.
There it is. That's the group. That's what we're looking at.
Do you remember Peyton Manning pulling this play when he fake spiked and ran when Jim Moore was there? So he's talking to Marino, and that's where he was got it from. I can't remember.
Yeah, Marino did it against the Jets.
He did it against the Jets on
a
Monday night. I remember vividly,
that. I remember
vividly. But Manning's play on it was that he. So here's Manning's version of it. I think it was eventually ruled that it was illegal because once you give the fake, it was almost like they ruled against it.
It's a pump fake.
So here you go. This is what he did. So he comes to the line, gets to the line. We're spiking. No. And then he just kind of dances like he's trying. I mean, he's kind of just being hysterical.
Look at him turn on the Jets.
And then
And
puts
people
on the
say he
Jets.
wasn't an athlete.
Yeah.
That has to count. That's too genius. The acting, everything about it.
I don't remember that play.
Me neither. It was a random Colts Saints game.
Homecoming for him.
I mean, he had to be so juiced right there. What a play.
So I wonder if after the Marino fake thing, did they put in some rule that you can't fake it?
Why not?
I have no idea.
Of course you can fake it.
Does it feel? Yeah, it feels like he's been overruled, right?
Feels like he's losing his mind.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. You can fake a handoff.
Right.
You can fake a pass.
Yeah.
Why can't you fake a spike?
I don't know.
I want him to give him a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree with you.
14 points, honestly.
I couldn't agree with you more. Cincinnati wide receiver Tyler Scott, and Norton, Ohio native, is someone who certainly is getting a little bit of attention for us. He was at the podium. We'll have some of that for you coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet. Coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Ready to cheer on your Cleveland Browns with the help of your favorite four-legged companion, Barking Backers, presented by Milkbone, Browns' newest club for pet parents worldwide. Sign up today at barkingbackers.com. Barking Backers, the fan club for dogs. Cincinnati wide receiver Tyler Scott could be someone of interest. The Norton, Ohio native was at the podium on Friday at the NFL Combine. Here he is on transferring his track speed to the football field.
I think just understanding, how to use it. I guess that's the biggest thing that people don't, really get. So, like, you look at, like, Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt in the first, 40, 60 meters, everyone's got him. You look at that back end half, that last 40 to 60, the race is over, you know what I'm saying? So you look at a guy, he may come out run a 40-yard dash. He may not be the, fastest person, here. If he runs a 40-yard dash, you go run 100 meters, he's going to be the fastest. So, in football, are you really running? When's the time where you're really running 100, yards where you really get a chance to really build up that speed? Football, it's like you got to learn how to get to top speed fast. And so one thing I really focused on when I was, in high school was indoor track. I got to run it finally my senior year. We got a new track coach, and he got us into indoor track. And so my main focus was the 60, and just really learning how to get out. And that's the biggest thing. Learn how to get out and get to top speed fast. Because in football, that's the biggest thing. And so being able to get to top speed fast is the big key that I think, it's a lot of hard for track athletes, especially because you get a chance to build up 200-meter dash, get a chance to build up 100-meter dash, get a chance to build up. So,
I think what we got to know, and I'll be very candid with you, I don't know enough about Tyler Scott to know, is he a natural receiver first? That's it. Like, it's, you can have all the speed in the world, but catching it naturally is job.
Yes, and that's what Dane would say. You put the tape on it and you'd be like, what do you mean this guy didn't always play wide receiver? That's how good he is compared to Tyler Lockett. From a lot of the people we talked to at the Combine, a lot of people think he'd be a perfect fit for the Browns. I don't know after the way that he performed if he'll be available to the Browns, but yeah, he was pretty darn good.
Slightly angry Jason saying the ref blew the play dead on the Manning fake spike. That's what happened.
What a buffoon.
He even fooled the ref. It was so good. Sad.
Of course he did.
Sad.
Very sad.
Yeah, hate to see it. Tyler Scott grew up a Browns fan. Here he is on that.
I had a meeting with them that, went great. I guess they were pretty impressed. So, I'm obviously from Northeast Ohio. I grew up a Browns fan. Every day on my way home from church, we got the Browns game on. We listen to the Browns game. Die-hard Browns fan. I'll say that as well. So, it'd be great to play for the Browns.
Her mom's a big fan of you then. His mom's a big fan.
Us?
No, but games on the way home. That's you and the voice. Nice. So that would be cool.
That would be great. Yeah, huge Browns fan. I think it's one of those situations where it almost makes too much sense. Everybody wants it to happen. Will it happen? I don't know. And again, I don't know if the Browns would consider that wide receiver is more of a luxury than the need that you might have at edge. And that's that Andrew Berry can answer that question. But
he won't.
He won't.
His actions will.
His actions, right. He won't. That won't be answered until free agency and the draft are over.
Right.
And then you'll say, that's what they did.
Aha. Mm-hmm. That's how that went.
Yes.
Here's Tyler Scott on Amari Cooper.
Yeah, well, actually, first and foremost, I went back and watched his combine because I know he had a great combine and he was real smooth, just the way he did things. So I wanted to go back and watch, his combine, just to kind of see, what he did there. But just his suddenness. He's real sudden, really quick at the line. As a guy that learns, I like learning how to manipulate DBs. It's kind of it's really a mind game out there when you're playing, receiver, because it's also a mind game for them as well. So I think that's what's also fun about playing receiver, and I think he just does that so well.
This from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sup, Calvin Ridley. They tweet him. Sup, Calvin Ridley, ? Duval. Pretty savvy play out of them.
Real savvy. I wish we had done it.
Yeah.
To be honest. If we're like, oh, man, we're going to add Calvin Ridley to the mix next year?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. All of a sudden, that guy's
wasn't it like a 6th-round pick? It was not much.
Why weren't more in on that?
Maybe the risk. I don't know.
What was the risk? He was not going to be out for 2 years for betting.
He hasn't played for 2 years, though. We know that's going to affect you.
He was injured before?
No, remember he took the year off before for the personal issues to get his mind right, mental health.
That was coming out of the COVID, right?
Yeah. I think he only played like 2 or 3 games that year.
5th-round pick.
Okay, so
this year.
Not much. But he last played football, I want to say, in 2020, 15 games, 1,374 yards, 9 touchdowns. 2021, 5 games, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then left for mental health reasons and did not return.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, he really hasn't played since 2020. It's going to be 2023.
For a fifth, though?
Sure. Kick the tires. I mean, he's still young.
Yeah.
He's everything that you want out of that. I mean, literally everything you want. He's 28 years old. Yeah, absolutely kick the tires on it. Sure.
Yeah. They're going to be a problem.
Formidable.
Yeah, they're going to be a very big problem. And I think it probably also, speaks to some of the stuff you're seeing in Tennessee with what their plans are. I mean, my hunch would be that they go off of Tannehill, and obviously they're shopping Henry.
I believe we had that early in the season. Like, it's over. Let's move on. Let's get it together. Right? Like,
yeah, you have to bounce when the you can't hold on too long, man.
No,
you can't. And so they are going to slide right into it, and then it'll just be a matter of, what can the Colts do in the draft? And I think Houston's in a pretty good spot if they draft correctly.
Houston's in a great spot.
The question for Houston will be, are they going to? How emphatic are they on that they get their guy? Because it sounds like the asking price for the Bears is your one this year is so that they basically have 2 1s every year,
right?
For this year and next year. So what is the price you're willing to pay for that to move up to go get it?
Right. That'll be the question.
Or do you stay there at 2, all because you want a meaningless game? That's simple. All right, we will do the All-NFC South rosters coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Going to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, coming soon to Ohio on 850 ESPN Cleveland. You look at this is how Derek Carr gets here. This is what we were saying all along. Go down there. You're not up.
Of course. By the way, this division had a total of 5 people in the Pro Bowl, period. In the division. This division is dreadful.
It is. It really is. It's the worst division in football somehow. It wasn't that long. Like when Brady went there and Breeze was in this with the Saints still. You know, Ryan was still with the Falcons.
Yes.
They had just been in the Super Bowl.
You had 3 people who were
Carolina at that point, I think they still had Cam, although it was starting to dwindle, but they still had Cam.
Right.
Kuechly was still playing there. Now it's just the dregs, man.
dregs.
Absolutely
Like this team is awful.
It's an awful team.
All right, so we'll go through.
Should we do this? How are we doing this again? Based
on last year.
Last year. So Brady's the quarterback.
Brady's the quarterback because by default. Although he wasn't bad last year.
No, I think didn't he lead the league in attempts?
Yes, I think he set a record. In fact.
Yeah. So Brady's the quarterback for sure.
Yeah.
Running backs, we taking 2 or 1? How are we doing?
Just
this?
one.
Just one.
I hope just one. Looking
Brady,
at the-
490 completions, 733 attempts, 4,694 yards. That's only 9.6 yards of completion, which is the lowest of his career, by the way. 25 touchdowns, 9 picks.
Sheesh.
I mean, he threw it 733 times and threw it for 4,600 yards. To put that in perspective, in 2017 with New England, he threw it 581 times and threw for 4,600 yards. That's 150 attempts fewer with the same amount of yards.
Yeah. I have no idea which of these guys had good years at running back.
So
Is
Tyler,
it the kid from Atlanta? Is
Tyler
he the guy?
Algier ran for over 1,000 yards and averaged 5 yards a carry. He led the division in rushing and averaged 5 yards
Did
a
he
carry.
really?
Yeah. Kamara led in total yards, but had a very down year.
Other than our game, how many Falcons games did you watch?
Games?
Yeah.
Not any, but I saw a
tried
lot
to
of
block
highlights.
ours out.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of highlights because, I watched.
We
played them week 4, so I watched at least their first 3.
Yeah.
But that was all Cordell Patterson.
Right.
Remember, he wasn't even the starter at the beginning.
No. Well, I guess my point is, like, as we're looking at these names and I'm reading the names on this list, like, I don't think it's a question that I watched the least amount of this division.
It was dreadful.
Yeah, it's bad across the board.
Like the Falcons and the Panthers had an awesome game. That crazy one where P.J. Walker threw like a Hail Mary to
that's
tie it,
right,
and then the
P.J.
kicker missed
Walker.
the extra point, and then the kicker missed the field goal in overtime, and they ended up losing to the Falcons.
Is P.J. Walker the Carolina Panthers quarterback of record last year?
He would have been, yeah.
Yeah. Probably would have been. Yeah. All right,
So
receiver.
who are we going with at running back?
Tyler
Algier.
Oh, my God.
So receiver, we take 3, right?
Yep.
It feels like Evans, Godwin, Olave.
Yep. That's exactly right. All 3 over 1,000 yards. Drake London is somebody who I think is a very much an ascending player if he can get some decent quarterback play around him. But, yeah, those 3
Was he
were
the first
head and
receiver off
shoulders.
the board?
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
DJ Moore had a solid season as well, but, I mean, he was derailed by poor quarterback play. And early on in the year, Baker could not get him the football.
No.
At
What is
all.
how many games did Jarvis end up playing? He was banged up, wasn't he?
Jarvis ended up playing 9 games, 25 catches, 272 yards, and a touchdown.
Love that guy.
Yeah, Evans had 1207 and 6. Godwin had 114, 1108 and 3. Olave 72,044 and 4. DJ Moore 63, 888 and 7. Drake London 72, 866 and 4. Next in the division was Olamide Zaccheaus with 533 and 3, and then Leonard Fournette with 529 and 3, 74 catches. All right, tight end is going to be as my wife started saying, a toughy toenail for you to figure out here. Gibbe, real quick, guess the stats. Kyle Pitts, second season in Atlanta.
82 catches, 900 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Do you have a guess?
No, I was looking at Michael Thomas's stats. I didn't even hear you. What'd you ask?
Kyle Pitts, second season with Atlanta.
What was Michael Thomas's stats?
I'm
He
gonna
only
get to
played
that.
like 5 games or something like that.
I don't know. What is it? What do you got?
Well, Gibbe said 82, 907.
I feel like it'd be.
He did go over 1,000 yards
Did he really?
as a rookie.
Oh, as a rookie, yeah.
This year, Kyle Pitts gave you 28 catches for
Oh, my
356 yards and 2 touchdowns. You may. That was good.
That's a collab.
Some of
There we
it's
go.
some of
That's
it's
what
who
you come here for.
who's throwing him the ball,
Yes.
but also
How
like
they use them.
how they
Ridiculous.
use him is ridiculous.
So
So
that-
Michael Thomas comes out of the gates. He's now 29, by the way. He'll be 30 next year. So he comes out of the gates 92 for 1137 and 9, 104, 1245 and 5, 125, 1405 and 9, 149, 1725 and 9. Now we get paid. He's offensive player of the year. Now he gets compensated. The next year, so 2020, he plays 7 games, 40 receptions, 438. Does not play in 2021, and in 2022 he played 3 games. He had 16 catches, 171, and 3 scores.
Yep.
I mean, what is that like Grant Hill?
Or
Where you're just
is that-
derailed, like you're
or
just
is
Grant
that-
Hill
brilliant?
though was also
is-
like he wasn't even liked in that. Like he's a problem too.
Michael Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
is
all
that
the-
is that COVID? And I'm just kind of done with all of this.
The
No, it's the
from the outside it
ankle,
looks
then he
like
wouldn't
the
play.
injuries, and then he disagreed with them, but then they compensated him.
It's strange.
Yeah, it's really incredible what's happened there.
By the way, the tight end on this team has to be. It's not even close. Juwan Johnson, who had 42 catches for 508 yards and 7 touchdowns. His 7 receiving touchdowns, by the way, tied DJ Moore for the conference lead.
When they drafted Kyle Pitts, the thinking was obviously keep getting Matt weapons.
I mean,
They still believed in Matt Ryan.
he went
at
over
that point.
1,000 yards as a rookie
No,
with
no, I
Matt
know.
Ryan.
But I mean, they clearly still were trying to build
Yes.
around Ryan.
Well, they lost Ridley all of a sudden.
Right. Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Tackles.
Tristan Wirfs was a
Wirfs.
Pro Bowler, and then Ryan Ramchick, also a former first-rounder, was pretty good. Ike Ekwonu struggled a little bit as a rookie.
Wirfs has been awesome.
Yep.
Guards?
Guards. Chris Lidstrom was one of the best guards in football last year, Pro Bowler. And then our old guy, Austin Corbett. And then there
How
was
about
that.
Corbett.
I know. Super Bowl champion with the Rams.
Yeah.
Gets paid. Had a solid year with the Panthers. And then center, I picked Robert Hainsey because he had the highest grade and looked like he had the best stats in terms of pressures allowed and run block, all of it.
That is brutal team.
It's awful. They'd get boat raced.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of former Panthers, Cardinals expected to move on from center Rodney Hudson and wide receiver Robbie Anderson.
There you go. Hudson was an all-pro guy. He's been a long in the tooth. He was all-pro with the Raiders.
Raiders.
Though. Kid out
Yep.
of Florida State. Really good with the Raiders for a while.
Yep.
Oh, this is pretty good. Nate Ulrich with this. Browns legend Joe Thomas said his wife Annie and his 4 kids will be his presenters during his August 5th enshrinement ceremony in Canton.
Nice.
Wow.
So Annie and the kids.
That's awesome.
That's really cool and
Perfect.
really on brand for Joe.
Yeah.
So I love that. All right, let's stay in the South. Let's go to the defensive side of things. Thank you, DJ, for passing that along to us from Nate. As we look on the defensive side, we start on the edge on defense.
So you got 2 Pro Bowlers here, pretty good. Brian Burns and Cam Jordan. So not bad there. They're actually not – the defense is not bad. Cam Jordan, Brian Burns on the edge. In the interior, Vita Vea and Grady Jarrett. Like that's a formidable line.
God, I'd kill for a Grady Jarrett. Wouldn't you?
I would. Linebackers, Levante David and Demario Davis, who's a Pro Bowler. That's pretty good. Corners, Jamel Dean, Marshawn Lattimore,
Don't
and
go
J.C.
so
Horn.
fast. You got 6
I was
minutes.
going to say, hold on. I got
Slow down here a little bit.
Sorry.
Pace yourself.
Demario Davis, Levante David.
Yeah, I mean, Devin White
Devin
doesn't
White,
make it.
did he fall off?
No, he had a good
He's
year.
still good?
He had a good year. Levante David had a great year, and Demario Davis had a great year.
Levante David's been around a while.
Yeah, Levante David's quite a decorated performer in this league.
And Demario Davis, former Brown.
Who did you have at edge?
We had Cam Jordan and Brian Burns.
Thank you.
And then Vita Vea and Grady Jarrett in the middle.
Both
Yep.
were Pro Bowlers.
Levante David's got to be like, was he 12 years in?
Yeah, he's only a one-time Pro Bowler. He is a one-time first-team All-Pro, 2-team second-team All-Pro. He has just been steady and good for a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
Back in 2013, he had 145 tackles. He had 7 sacks and 5 picks.
Jeez. That's when he's first team All-Pro.
That's right. Didn't even make the Pro Bowl that year, which is outrageous.
And he was first team All-Pro?
Yep.
How's that possible?
I don't know. Poor Pro Bowling.
Yeah, very. How's Devin White been? We loved him.
We loved
It's funny anytime we do this and we see all these guys we fell in love with at the Combine. I mean, he was the guy we were going to ride horses down,
Yeah.
Lou Groza.
Pro Bowler. Last year he was a Pro Bowler. This year, 124 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 5 passes defense, 2 forced fumbles, 8 tackles. I mean, he was great.
Really good.
Yeah, this team, you could play base defense with and be fine.
All right. We're just going 2 linebackers, though. All right. At corner.
J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn had a quarterback rating of 52 when targeted, 3 picks to lead the division. Jamel Dean had a great year for Tampa, and then Marshawn Lattimore. This defense would be tough.
It's interesting. I don't know where the heck was Lattimore picked. I know he was a first rounder, but was he a top 10?
Yes.
Was he?
I think he may have been 10th? 11th.
11th.
So, no, not top 10, but as close as you can be. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler.
He was one of those guys that I don't know that if you were to
He only played 7 games this year, but I put him on anyway.
good. If you were to name like of all those they had that great cornerback run at Ohio State that hasn't been there since probably Okudah left. But I don't know that he would have been like the guy most people have taken number 1, but he's been the best pro of those guys. I mean, he's been because availability. I mean, he's there.
Yeah.
Like that's
Health. He and Denzel would be the top 2.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Those would be the 2 guys. Yeah, Okudah was the highest taken.
Yep.
And I think he bounced back last year. Okudah did, but from the really brutal.
I mean,
years
he had nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, safety.
Honey Badger and Jeremy Chin. I'm a big Jeremy Chin fan. That's a good group there. Honey Badger and Jeremy. That's a good defense. And then kicker, Koo, punter, Hecker, because
Isn't Antoine Winfield Jr. with Tampa Bay?
he is, yes.
Yep. Who was the other one you had?
Honey
Chin.
Badger and
Chin
Jeremy
and Badger.
Chin. Yeah,
Badgers played for the Cardinals, the Chiefs, and the Saints,
that's right.
and Houston.
Houston as well. Yep.
4 teams for somebody that talented?
Yeah. And he's been pretty well decorated as well. Started his career in 2013, 3rd-round pick. Coincidentally, the pick right
How
after.
was he a 3rd-round pick?
Because he had serious off-field issues.
Oh, that's right.
They were
He
worried
ended up
about
getting thrown
We
off.
picked a gentleman by the name of Leon McFadden.
I don't want to hear about it.
1 pick before him.
Oh, God.
He is a 4-time Pro Bowler and 3-time first-team All-Pro.
Yeah, he's a dude.
He's been an All-Pro with Arizona. He was only with Houston for 1 year.
Okay.
So he spent 13 to 17, 5 years in Arizona, 1 with Houston, and then 3 with Kansas City, and now 1 with New Orleans. 3 picks last year. I mean, he's had at least 3 picks in 4 straight seasons.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
He's just
He
a
always was.
stud.
Always was. 3-time All-Pro.
Yep.
Pretty good. We start knocking that down. Kickers and punters.
Kickers and punters. Yeah, I went with Young Hoo Koo.
Sure you did.
Young Ho Koo and then Johnny Hecker.
Johnny Hecker, one of the best.
Koo's solid, man.
Yeah. This team is Bush, baby. No good.
No good.
Defensively, not awful.
Defensively,
yeah, but gosh
solid.
almighty, this offense is going to put them in no position to succeed.
No. This D
They're
solid.
going to lose a lot of 3-0 games.
This is why Carr went there, man. It's a pretty straightforward path. How many Saints do we have? We had Olave, Juwan Johnson, Ramczyk. Carr would be the quarterback on this team. Defensively, Cam Jordan,
DeMario,
Matthew, Lattimore,
and
DeMario. That's a lot of Saints.
He's going to put them in a pretty good spot. That's a good. It's right. This is something he did what was right for him, and for the best chance to win and to succeed. That was a smart move by all parties.
You also get the feeling that with him doing this, it feels like Tampa Bay and Atlanta are just going to hang tight at quarterback. Carolina's going to go.
Breer is reporting Tampa did not make even a move to contact him.
So they're going to the bottom. Smart of them.
They have
to do, by the
They
way.
can't afford. They're in
in
the
cap
world of
jail.
hurt. Yeah.
They could go all the way to the bottom. I wonder if they put any of their guys on the market.
Vita Vea, come on down.
They because next year's quarterback draft is loaded. That's Caleb Williams, Drake May, loaded. So go to the bottom for a year and then right back. I bet that's their plan. Be pretty smart to do. This would be a good year to do it.
Hard to pull it off. I think a lot of people probably have that plan.
How many do? Like for sure, them. If you're throwing Kyle Trask out there, then you're doing it.
Atlanta could, Carolina could, depending on what they do.
Feels like Carolina's out of patience. It seems like Tepper's
Carolina's
gonna
owner
spend big on a
is like,
quarterback.
we're all in.
One of these kids. They have an ability to move up.
Peter
Somebody's
King
not gonna
had
get one of
them
them.
as a number 3 to get Aaron Rodgers.
Carolina.
They could make
imagine
some kind of
him
move out of
playing
nowhere
there?
because their owner's like, win now.
Well, he is, but like, I don't know. I mean, they were all
You
in
still
on
gotta
Watson.
want to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. In the AFC, there aren't.
What are the Rams going to do?
I don't know. I'd trade Stafford.
I would too.
I would trade him.
You brought him there to win a Super Bowl. He did. Now you need a tank and try to get your guy next year.
What about
it's
your
a team.
boy
Caleb
Allen
Williams
Robinson?
at USC? And they put him out there. I trade Cup. I trade all of it.
Well, you
What's
keep
the point? Somebody used this. It was
Need
like a
somebody to throw the
slight,
football
a
to.
slight to Jackson Smith and Jigba. They were like, if you're looking for a Cooper Cup type, and I'm like,
Guy just won the triple.
he
crown.
won the Triple Crown, man.
triple
like if that's what, if
easy
you,
crown.
go ahead, I'll take that. I'll take that guy.
I've been saying on Twitter.
I like. Give
Don't
me a
sleep
Hunter.
on Jax.
Give me a little Hunter Renfro.
Don't sleep on Jax.
No, you shouldn't. He's a dude. He's absolutely a dude. So much more to come. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, it's going to get pretty interesting here over the next couple of days when it comes to free agency, and the NFL is in business in its offseason. Enjoy your time, buddy.
I shall. I'll miss you.
I know you will. Sun's out,
If
guns
something
out.
crazy
live.
happens, I'll check in from the
live.
Valley of the Sun.
Live.
Some crazy happens.
Live.
No, I like
You're
crazy.
fine. Not too crazy.
Good. Some crazy good.
Yeah,
that
positive. I don't need
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I don't want to
No,
be.
positive. Only positive.
I don't need any tight ropes over razor blades stuff again. I'm good with that.
No,
so let's
that's
just
not
keep it
happening.
all be positive.
Yeah, all positive.
All right. Enjoy your time.
Thank
The
you.
next level is coming up next. We're back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.